Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I'll be showing you how to get started with the app.js file in the layout file in Next.js. So let's get started. So in the last video, we made this application in which we can see here I've styled it, changed the font family, and we used the link, and yeah, we changed the font family and did a bit of styling to create this awesome application. So now let's start by the coding. So as you can see, I've changed none of the code and it's all as this last video. So let's start with the app.js file. Over here you can see that this returns a component with the page props. So this component is basically the default export of any page. So if I come here to the index.js page, the default export is the home page. So that home page is the component, and the page props are anything that I'm passing through. For example, in the index.js page, I could destructure this and pass in props like that. I mean, get props and pass props as well. So I could, for example, create a component which requires a couple of props. For example, the link component is the component and it takes in props like the href prop, and it can take, like, let's see, it, I don't know, okay, what can it take? It takes a on mouse enter, on click, and href. So yeah, you can see it takes in some props. So that's how the component works in the page props. And basically we're creating this my app, which is always here. Same thing with the about.js page. About page is the default export. So about page is the thing that's rendered with all this stuff. So let's start. Let's start by creating a layout. But why do we create layouts? You can see here that whatever we put so you might have guessed that whatever we put around this component will be displayed on all the pages. Is the component is the page. So what if we wrap a React component and we wrap a React component out, and we put this component thing in a React component, and that should basically allow us to just get some stuff like the nav bar on every page. So how do we do this? We'll create a new folder called components, and then we'll create a layout.js file, and you can name this anything. Then we'll create the React component and we'll call this anything you want. I'm going to call this layout. Then what I'm going to do is return a div. And I'm going to put a span with says coding 1101. Then I'm going to take in props. Now make sure that this is children and not child. This has to be children, and that's because this component in the app.js can be many pages, and that's why we get the children. And for example, in the app.js file, we get the component, right? So that's the page. Now if we just render the coding 1101 part, we don't render the page. So we want to render the page, so we just put in the children over here. So this should render the page as well as coding 1101. So now we can save this. And now we'll import this into here and wrap it around our component. So let me just import this. So basically I'm importing layout from the components folder and the layout.js file. And then I'm just going to wrap it around layout like that and that. So that should work. So let's see this in the browser. So this is how it looks in the browser. Everything's working fine. You can see there's a coding 1101 over here, and the rest of the page is there. We can click on the about page, it still works. Click on the home page, it works. So yeah. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, be sure to like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.